Hello and welcome to Practically Speaking Houston. This is the Houston Chapter PRSA official podcast. And here on this podcast, we get an opportunity to talk to all of our members and talk about why our chapter is such a great investment in your communications career. We're going to talk about why PRSA brings value to you. And we're also going to be chatting with one of our amazing board members who's going to bring some great tips and strategies to the conversation. But before we get started, let's take care of some housekeeping. If you are listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes of Practically Speaking Houston. And if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, drop us some comments because we'd love to connect. So let's go ahead and get this episode started. Joining us now on the podcast is Laura Frnka-Davis joining us. Laura, great to have you back on the podcast.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks, Veronica.
Now, let's go ahead and clarify a couple of different things. First of all, you are one of our very active members, and you've had several leadership positions on the board with us. Talk to us about what you're doing right now.
Yeah, so I have been part of PRSA Houston for probably 20 years. And I've held a variety of different positions. And this past year, I was elected to serve as assembly delegate. And I'm excited to represent the chapter in Orlando next October. And yeah, just happy to be involved again.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit what assembly delegate means for those of us who have not really been involved in the national chapter or are still learning what PRSA means and how it works when you are involved in a local chapter. Talk to us about what that means and what your responsibilities are.
So essentially, assembly delegates are voices for each of the chapters across the country that go to national and vote on various policies and things that help drive the national chapter. So it's a really important part of the organization and the board and how we operate because, like I said, the assembly delegates represent everybody in our chapter. So we want to make sure that we have a really good reflection of what we believe in here in Houston and how to best represent all of our members.
Got it. And what other roles have you served on before? I know you've been involved for a while, and you're a great mentor, and you've had been involved in lots of different programs. But what are some of the other things you've done for our chapter before?
Let's see. I've served as secretary at one point. I've served as assembly delegate several times. Been involved in Excalibur, both on planning the actual event and then serving as the awards chair. I've done that several times. This year, also, in addition to assembly delegate, I'm going to be helping Cami Heiza on the University Relations Committee, and I'm excited about that because I think we need to continue to mentor these young people that want to come into the profession, and the only way to reach them is through the university. So I'm excited to help her with that.
Yeah, I think that's a great, it's a great segue into what we're doing, whether it's marketing, public relations, crisis communications. Sometimes folks don't even know that certain niches exist. They assume maybe oil and gas or healthcare, but they don't know that there's other areas. And so working with our university students is going to be huge for our chapter, especially as we grow. So tell us a little bit about your career path and the different areas you've worked in, because I think that brings a lot of insight as you're working with some of our university students.
Sure. So I actually started my career in advertising. I don't know if many people know that. And I quickly decided that wasn't really what I wanted to do because I wasn't able to utilize my writing skills. I've always been a writer. As a little girl, I'd sit down at the typewriter and write stories and whatnot. So from there, I transitioned into agency life, worked for a PR agency that focused solely on high tech. And that was great when there was a big high tech boom. But when it went bust, I lost my job. So from there, I utilized my contacts to get a job at Texas Children's Hospital. And I was in media relations there for several years. Absolutely love that job. That job really helped me, I think, in what I'm doing now, even. It gave
Mm-hmm.
me a lot of the foundational stuff and just the contacts and the networking. And then from there, I went back to agency life, worked at Pierpont Communications for about 5 years, then took a job at a nonprofit here in Houston, LifeGift. The organ eye and tissue recovery agency, was director of comms for almost a decade. And then transitioned to be on my own. And I've had my company, LFD Communications, for almost 7 years now, which is hard to believe.
Wow. Yeah, congratulations. And
Thank
so,
you.
yeah, I love, and I'm very familiar with your work. I live in one of the communities that you serve, and so I've had an opportunity to read some of the things that you've put out and some of the different groups you work with. But tell us about some of the clients you work with and what that's like, and maybe how you tap into PRSA to help you grow your own business, your own
hmm
agency.
Yeah, so I represent lots of different types of clients. I feel like at this point in my career that a lot of my skills are transferable. So I work with school districts. I work with, just like you, I work with nonprofits. I work with some hotels. I mean, and that's one of the things I absolutely love about what I'm doing now is that I'm not pigeonholed into one particular topic and I'm not pitching the same topic over and over again. I thrive on that variety. And so, I just have a really interesting portfolio of clients. And as a solo entrepreneur, you know, different things come in every year. And I just wrote on LinkedIn yesterday that this year's been full of amazing opportunities and great people to collaborate with that I didn't even see coming
That's
last
awesome.
January. So that's what's really fun about it is I haven't had to pigeonhole myself into one thing.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And I think the fact that you can pull from the different experiences you've had make it really exciting for someone considering working to contract someone out, and they can look at you and look at your portfolio of work and say, "Oh, she's done this, or she's done nonprofits, or she's got those relationships." What
Mm.
do you think the biggest benefit is to communication professionals that are looking at our membership? I know you talked a lot about opportunities and realizing them in 2025. How do you think that translates to your membership with PRSA?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to be part of a professional organization like PRSA. I think that our local chapter brings a lot in terms of the different types of programming and just the different people that you get to meet
Mm-hmm.
over the years. I mean, I've been involved in this organization, like I said at the beginning, for 20 years, and I have met so many people. I've stayed in touch with them. Some of them have become my best friends, which I love. So I think there are a lot of benefits to being a part of the chapter. And I think that just being involved and being a face can bring you business opportunities and um, as an opportunity to showcase what you can bring to someone as a potential business partner.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would totally agree. And like you, I've transitioned on my own as well. And that makes it really it creates a lot of opportunities, but you also need to keep your network fresh and know what people are up to and know who does what really, really
hmm
well. And I think our networking events give us an opportunity to share some of those things, some of those insights with other members. What do you feel like is the newest trend that you're seeing with the clients that you work with? Are you seeing some of your um, clients wanting more copywriting? Do you see them wanting to tap into paid media placement? What do you see with the clients that you're working with?
Well, I think the earned media landscape has gotten a little bit more challenging since the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
I think every communicator pretty much agrees with that. So I see more clients being open to paid things because they understand that there's no longer that separation of church and state, right? We used to say
Right.
that all the time, and there's just, it's not there anymore. It doesn't
Right.
exist. So I'm always advising my clients to invest a little bit in some paid opportunities, because otherwise, you know, we're going to miss the boat. And earned media, when you get it right now, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just become, like I said, it's just become more and more challenging. And so I think it's kind of that mix of sponsored content and earned content. And also, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who's planning to take the leap into being a solo entrepreneur. And I said, people don't like to write. That's one thing that we can bring to the table that organizations don't necessarily want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think there, continues to be a lot of opportunities for us out there, and I think the trend is a lot of the content creation and the paid content.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would agree with that. And then there comes some natural challenges with the writing too, as
Hmm.
drafts get presented to you to be refined or fine tuned, and you realize they're AI generated and there's a formula to it. It makes it really challenging. How are you working with clients to, you know, balance that fine line between them wanting to be efficient with their staff and them wanting to be creative?
Yeah, I mean, I think AI has its place. I think everyone agrees with that. I mean, I would think most of us would agree with that comment. Um, I think it can make you more efficient, and as solo entrepreneurs, we're always looking for time in our day, but we have to put that humanization on it. We can't just rely completely on AI to draft something for us. It's got to be something that we touch, and we can be
Mhm.
creative and adding that personalization to it. So I think it does have its place, and I think we have to embrace it as communicators, or we're going to be left out. But we just have to be wise about how we're using it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that's something that our PRSA student members are learning in school. I was talking to a young lady this last semester, and she was talking a lot about how they've implemented that into the curriculum. And she was curious as to what I'm actually seeing out in the field. And so I think we've had several webinars, not only from the national chapter or the national organization, but some our local chapter too. We've had some great conversations about that. And so I think encouraging our members to listen to what their clients are needing and then making sure that we can all pivot is going to be really
Mhm.
important going into 2026, especially in this first and second quarter. So, Laura, what are some projects you're working on right now that you want to brag on and some things you want to celebrate?
So kind of a cool project, and I think you'll appreciate it because you work with schools. So I was contracted by a PR agency out of New York to help with a project where a credit union was coming into Houston. And so I've been serving as kind of the local boots on the ground. Actually, they're at Pearland, which is where I am. And so it just made perfect sense for me to represent them and be their kind of local face. And so 2 weeks before, or a week before Christmas, we worked with the two ISDs here, Pearland and Alvin ISD. The credit union, UFCU, um, donated $20,000 to eliminate school lunch debt.
Oh, I
To
love that.
Yeah, isn't that great? It was such a great community event, and I've loved partnering with Trail Runner. They're a PR agency. I've been an extension of their team, and we had media cover the event. We had cheerleaders come out. We had the mascots. They made time to come out and be part of our event a couple weeks ago, and so it just, to me, I loved it because I'm from this area, and so it just felt good to see that happening right where I live. And so that was one project that recently I've been really proud of, and
Yeah.
I'm really happy to have been part of it.
Oh, kudos to you. I love that. Anything that supports K-12, it just pulls at my heartstrings. And I think it's so very important. And I love that brand responsibility with a new credit union coming in and recognizing that there's something we can do that helps our community, that also brings recognition. So great job pitching that out. So Laura, how can people connect with you? If you wanted to get 2 or 3 new professional connections from our members, how's the best way for them to connect with you?
Pretty easy. Just send me an email, laura@lfdcommunications.com. I will be on vacation for the next week, so don't expect a response until the week of the 12th when I'm back. And then, of course, always LinkedIn is a great place. But yeah, I mean, I'm always open. Like you said, as solo entrepreneurs, we have to keep those connections going. We have to create new ones all the time, and have to just keep that networking going and add people and meet people. It's just something we have to do as well, given what we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. And I look forward to the day when we can connect on a project because I know it's right around the corner somewhere.
We definitely should.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, I will make sure that Laura's LinkedIn and her contact information are in the show notes. Be sure to connect with her. She is a wonderful asset, especially here in Houston. She knows lots of people and she can definitely point you in the right direction. Laura, thank you so much for being on Practically Speaking Houston.
That's my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity.
You bet. All right, that wraps up this episode of Practically Speaking Houston. I'm your host, Frnka-Davis, for I have the opportunity to come to you and introduce you to some of our fantastic members in our Houston chapter. So if you are listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes. And if you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, drop us some comments. We would love to connect. And we will catch you next time on the next episode.